Comrade, could you give us an overview of what is being inaugurated today, the IFC-IOR?
Today, the Honorable Raksha Mantri would be inaugurating the Information Fusion Center, Indian Ocean region, which is primarily would be a multilateral construct for information sharing among various countries, as well as multilateral constructs and international organizations in the IOR and beyond.
We're talking about over 30 countries, yeah?
We have invited over 40 countries, and we are awaiting responses from each of these.
So is this going one step further from the white chip agreements that you have with these countries bilaterally?
Yes, it is going much beyond white shipping agreement, which is done bilaterally between two nations. Here now we would have the mandate of approaching various multilateral constructs, as well as the various points of contacts who would be available to us after the approvals from necessary government approvals from various nations, and we would interact with them on white shipping information. And white shipping information is basically regarding merchant shipping and non-classified information.
So give us an example of where you would be needed, say a consignment of narcotics you were mentioning earlier, or some kind of illegal shipment, and since there are so many countries involved, is that the reason why you need a multilateral kind of forum?
Yes, maritime domain is unique in the sense that a ship could be registered in a particular country, the cargo could be loaded in a particular country, bound for a different country, it could be across continents, the master of the vessel could be from a fourth country, and the crew could be multinationalities. So in case there is an incident or a safety requirement or a piracy attack, there are multiple nations involved, and we've realized that collaboration with multinational countries and multilateral constructs is the only way forward to get a handle on such a situation.
And how does the IMAC integrate with this in terms of your using it?
Yeah, IMAC was established after the 2008 Mumbai attacks, where we have integrated a few of the national agencies, and the data which is collected here is available with 51 nodes all across the country and the island territories, including basically the Indian Navy and the Coast Guard stations. With IFC-IOR, we are going international, and we are going much beyond just being bilaterally exchanging merchant shipping data. We are looking at collaborating with them actively on a day-to-day basis on responding to incidents and events happening at sea, and most importantly, preventing illegitimate activities at sea.
So that last point that you're raising would possibly be if vessel is flagged as suspicious, or what its shipment is flagged as suspicious?
That's true. Our primary aim is to promote legitimate maritime activities, and we are looking at illegitimate activities not being undertaken as per international rules and as per our national laws and regulations.
What kind of ships can you track when you're talking about merchant ships? The biggest and the smallest, they will obviously have to have some kind of equipment on board that allows them to be tracked.
We would obviously be interested right from the biggest of the vessels to the smallest of the vessels, and for this the International Maritime Organization has got regulations in place regarding automatic identification systems to be fitted on vessels more than 300 gross registered tonnage and above. As far as India is concerned, the Indian government has got regulations in place to have AIS transponders, automatic identification system transponders, in vessels more than 20 meters in length and above. For boats which are smaller than 20 meters in length, we are undertaking presently trials along with the National Space Agency for fitment and trials of low-cost satellite-based transponders. With these measures in place, to a large extent, the Indian vessels would be tracked at sea.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on the last point you're making with the ISRO and the satellite navigations?
Yeah, you would probably recollect that the 2008 attacks took place on a small fishing boat, hijacked and brought across to Gujarat, got across to Mumbai. To avoid an incident of this in future, and also to take care of the safety in case there is a cyclone building up or the weather conditions are not suitable, to warn them regarding such an eventuality, this particular exercise of integrating with ISRO towards producing a low-cost transponder, and the transponder and the facility would also have facility to send messages to the small boats at sea.
Again, when you're talking about the Indian Ocean region, are ships and vessels only in this region being tracked?
No, not necessarily. We are tracking all over the globe based on the various bilateral agreements, based on the space-based assets that we have, and various commercial assets that we have subscribed to.
What's the response you've got from other countries in terms of participating in this venture?
It's been quite encouraging. In fact, one of the reasons why we could actually launch this in such a short time was because of the interest evinced by various partner nations who were also looking forward to India taking on this challenge.
This is a lead role that India is taking on, but again, to stress, this is only merchant vessels or vessels that are carrying cargo of some sort that are being tracked here, not warships or sensitive ships of various countries?
You're correct, but more than a lead role, we are looking at collaborating with other nations as well as multilateral constructs, because we see the maritime domain as a global common, which is for everybody, and for the safety, security, stability and the prosperity of countries in this region, seas are very important. So we've come up with the construct so that we are able to collaborate with all these agencies for the good of everybody.
In event of any kind of conflict or tension, how do you ensure that the information you're getting from the various systems is accurate, it's correct in terms of what the ship is carrying, where it is going, who's on board?
The bilateral agreements and the choice of commercial providers, and to a large extent the indigenous content of our sensors, should make sure that to a large extent it is not possible, and we would get accurate data. And we are dealing, when we are saying bilaterally, with governmental agencies, so there would be a sense of responsibility from the other side as well. And we are also dealing with international organizations of repute like the International Maritime Organization, so that whatever data we are getting is accurate and updated.
And again, since so much technology is involved, what are the safeguards in place so that they're not disrupted or hacked?
We are aware about the security risks that such an initiative would entail, and I would say there are multiple layers of security, and it would suffice to say that the security in place is adequate and more than adequate.
Commodore, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you so much. Thanks.